Hey there, welcome to Hiker Homily. I think we're up to number 54 this time. So, a couple of real brief things I just wanted to kind of throw out there. I'm kind of in the middle with the Hiker Homily stuff because I know in about a month's time I'm going to be gone to the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm not going to be doing Hiker Homily every week. I'm going to be doing Pacific Crest Trail videos as long as I figure out how to edit on my phone and be posting from the trail doing that kind of thing. So Hiker Homily is going to be kind of on a hiatus. Hiker Homily hiatus. How do you like that? Until I get back from the trail and stuff like that. So there's a couple of things I want to do. Like I was going to go through each individual leave no trace step and things. But I don't want to get into that and then not have time to finish it before I'm gone to the PCT. So I'm kind of holding off. So, figuring out what I'm going to talk about on Hiker Homily. A little more difficult, so a couple of quick things this week. Number one is how it seems, at least online, a lot of online hikers. And that's the thing, I put it in quotes because I don't know these folks. Most of them seem like they're pretty decent folks and who actually do go out hiking, but all I know is from a chat group in a social media network. So for all I know, they never hit the trails at all. I have no clue. But there seems to be a logic fail for some of them when it comes to anecdotal evidence, for lack of a better word, because it really isn't evidence. It's their opinion based on one experience, usually their own. And for example, I have hiked for 15 years, never filtered my water, never had a problem. And that's the evidence they use to tell other people, don't filter your water. Okay? And there's all kinds of stuff there. I've seen people lately talk about emergency locator beacons, the little ones, either the Spot or the Garmin Explorer and things like that, where you press a button, it sends a signal to search and rescue if you need help on the trail, and they will key in on that signal and come help you. Okay? There are hikers out there that actually tell other hikers, don't bother with that. I've been hiking for 20 years and never had an issue, never needed that. Never seen anyone who needed search and rescue. What did people do when they hiked before we had that technology? They just went hiking anyway. And it's just kind of silly that, okay, so you haven't needed it. That doesn't mean other people shouldn't have it, and they shouldn't take precautions. And that's really what it is. A lot of the times there are things that are precautions. They're safety things that, yes, you're right. If your hike goes perfectly, you will never need this object. Okay? And so because a lot of people have had good hikes and never needed this object, they start telling other people, I don't even bother carrying it anymore, and you shouldn't carry it either. Okay? First aid kits, emergency beacons, just stuff like that is really where they go with. And other safety things like filtering food, putting food in your tent. I put food in my tent all the time. Never had trouble with any kind of bears or wildlife or anything. Okay, good. Okay, but here's the problem with that is because you are using that one example as that means it should apply to everyone in the whole world, all of you on the trail. Because myself, have never had this trouble, none of you should have this trouble either. The problem with that logic is there's all kinds of evidence to the contrary that says no. Just because you haven't had that issue, here are a whole list of others who have had that issue. Okay? This person, that person, this person has gotten giardia from not filtering water. This person over here had a bear break into their tent and tear through it because they had food in there. Or mice chew through the side of the tent panel to get to the food they had in there, which is the more likely scenario than a bear, to tell you the truth. This person over here slipped off the trail, rolled down a canyon, ended up with a broken leg and couldn't get out of that canyon. But they had an emergency beacon and search and rescue came to get them instead of them just being stuck there. This person fell down the canyon, didn't get out, and search and rescue found their body later when their relatives figured out they were missing. Okay, so that's the thing just gets me is there seems to be a decent amount of people. I'm not going to say most, but there's a decent amount of hikers online who like to give other people advice on not to do things, and their entire basis for not doing things is anecdotal. I've never had issues with it. I've talked to a few other hikers that are friends of mine. They've never had issues. Therefore, it's not an issue. And that's an epic logic fail. It's ridiculous. I really wish people wouldn't do that. Now, if you don't want to carry an emergency beacon or filter your water, that's you. Go ahead. And you can tell people this is why. I've done hiking for this long, never had an issue. That's why I don't filter my water. Okay, good for you. Okay, but when you start telling other people you should do like me, because me has never had this problem, that's where the logic fail is. That's where there's problems. Don't tell other people to not take certain safety precautions just because you personally have not had any issue with that. Okay? Don't do that. That's my little rant on that. That's kind of like a mini rant. And it's not exclusive to the hiking community. I've seen a lot of other sub communities. Everything it's just there's a lot of folks out there that just use anecdotal things that because it's not an issue with them, they just don't do it. It's like telling people we've never had anything in our house go wrong as far as fire or smoke, so I'm taking all the smoke detectors out of the house. Okay. Well, number one, in most states that's illegal now. You're required to have them. Your insurance definitely will go down if you have them. Not to mention the fact that some states actually have it as a law. But even the ones that don't, it's just why wouldn't you have that as a safety? Just because you've never had a fire in your house before doesn't mean you don't need a fire alarm or a smoke detector. It's just silly logic, but that's the kind of logic people use. All right. Okay, we haven't done a hiker term in a while, so hiker term. We're going to do a real quick one here, and the hiker term is yogi. To yogi something, it's a verb. When you yogi something, you are, I don't want to use the word manipulating, but it's kind of close there. You are doing your best to get something, usually food, from a fellow hiker or camper. And it usually goes something like this. Oh, what do you got there? Oh, peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, I've heard those are good. Yeah. yeah, I'm just coming on the trail here, and it's been a long trail. I'm pretty hungry, and yeah, I've heard those are good. And you're hoping through that passive aggressive stance that they're going to say, "Oh, really? Oh, you're hungry? Would you like some?" That's yogiing. You're trying to drop hints, basically, to get some food. Oftentimes it's water. And there are folks who are just direct out there. And I got to tell you, as the hiking community out there, the hiking community is pretty cool. If I were out on the trail and I know I've got 3 liters of water in my pack and I've only got a couple of miles left to do, and I come upon a hiker going the other way, and he had an accident, and such leaked, and he's out of water. And he flat out asked me, he's not just yogi, but he flat out asked, "Do you have any water to spare?" I'm going to give him at least a liter to help him out. Okay, because that's just how we do things in the hiker community. Most hikers would do that. They're going to help that person out. If they have a container to hold it, I'm going to give them, especially if I'm close to the end of my trip. But I'm going to help them out with some water, and people will do that sometimes with food and things like that. So, but yogiing is kind of a passive aggressive version of just flat out asking, "Hey, I need help here. I ran out of food. I ran out of water. Can you spare a little bit?" It's, "Oh, what do you got there? That looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty hungry myself. I ran out of food yesterday. I haven't eaten yet today, and that looks pretty good." And you're just hoping that they offer it. That is yogiing. That's going to be hiker homily for this week. Hey, I got it to right around 10 minutes or so. So, hiker homily number 54. As always, you can get a hold of me if you have any comments, questions, anything like that at hikingforhealthca@gmail.com or on Instagram. Comments below. Comment on Patreon because I'm putting the videos up on there as well. And or you can get a hold of me on Facebook. And that's about it. Thanks as always for watching. Always appreciate it. My subscribership is kind of rising ever since I announced the PCT. I've gotten a little bit more every day, a few more people. So hey, I appreciate that. Thanks so much. It's kind of neat that it's growing. And other than that, we will see you next time.